My beloved child, you have waited with patience even when you didn't understand why I asked you to stay still. You have wrestled in prayer, endured sleepless nights, and wondered when your season would change. And now I am here to tell you, it has. Heaven has finished its divine orchestration concerning your calling. What once looked like a long hallway of unanswered prayers has now transformed into a door wide open. The time of your testing has served its purpose. I have refined you through the fire, removed what could not remain, and strengthened what must last. You didn't just survive the wilderness. You grew roots that no storm can now uproot. You learned the sound of my voice in the silence, and you learned how to walk by faith when there was no visible proof. All of this was necessary, child, every delay, every disappointment, and even every tear, because I was shaping your heart to carry something greater than a moment. I was shaping you for a movement. I was preparing you not just to receive, but to steward. And now, in this moment, I say with all of heaven bearing witness, it's ready to go. The prayers are complete. The time is ripe. The doors will open. You didn't imagine it. You didn't fabricate it out of emotion or hope. What I whispered into your spirit in the quiet corners of your life, in moments when no one else could hear or see, was real, sacred, and divinely planted. That desire, that dream, that purpose I sowed into your being was not a random occurrence. It was my intentional design, embedded in your soul before your first breath. And though the world around you may have questioned it, though seasons passed without a trace of movement, what I initiated has never left my sight. Like a seed buried beneath the soil, it underwent transformation beyond human observation. In the dark, it was developing. In the silence, it was stretching. In the obscurity, it was forming depth. You may have doubted its progress, even mourned its delay, but I assure you, nothing I author ever ceases to advance. What you carry is no longer in its infancy. I've been nurturing it through every experience, refining it through every challenge, and now it has grown into completion. The gestation period is over. The process has reached its climax. The unseen blueprint has now become a visible structure. Heaven has examined it. Angels have witnessed it. The Spirit has confirmed it. I do not release what is immature, and I do not bless what is incomplete, and I declare, this is neither. This assignment, this calling, this burden I've given you is now ripe for manifestation. The heavenly realm stands in agreement. The atmosphere has shifted. The time for conception is past. The moment for birthing has come. No longer must you nurture in secret. No longer must you shield it from exposure. You will now see with your own eyes what was once only held in your heart. You will watch as my plans unfold with clarity, beauty, and unstoppable momentum. Trust this. I am not only the one who starts good works, I am the God who completes them with precision. So now, take what I have cultivated in you and prepare to present it to the world. It has my signature upon it. It carries my anointing. It reflects my nature, and no power of darkness can deny what has been authorized by the throne. This is not man's promotion. This is my release. Heaven has said yes. The earth will soon echo it. You felt the tension, didn't you? That lingering ache of anticipation, that hollow space between the promise and its fulfillment. It pressed on your soul like a weight you couldn't shake. You stood in places where you expecting progress but met stillness. You whispered prayers that seemed to dissolve into silence. And every passing hour made you wonder if you had misheard me, if perhaps the vision had expired or dissolved into irrelevance. But today I bring you into my perspective, a view untouched by human clocks or hurried expectations. What you perceived as postponement was in fact perfect orchestration. I never place you on hold out of cruelty or negligence. I wasn't teasing you with hope only to snatch it away. I was positioning every piece with precision, fitting every person into place, aligning circumstances you never saw, and preparing atmospheres beyond your reach. If I had moved even a moment earlier, the foundation wouldn't have held the weight of what I'm about to release. You see, I don't build for moments, I build for legacies. I don't launch you into opportunities that collapse under pressure. I anchor you in timing that stands through storms. The setbacks you mourn were really safeguards. The routes were hidden corridors into greater dimensions of my purpose. I was training your discernment, stretching your faith, teaching you how to trust the unseen instead of clinging to outcomes. And while you were watching clocks and counting calendars, I was watching motives, maturing strength, refining obedience. I didn't forget you, child. I was finishing you. Because what I'm calling you into isn't just for now. It's eternal. It carries consequences beyond this era, this generation, even this world. I needed you to understand that my delays are never wasted. They are deliberate stages of growth, of purification, of deeper anchoring in my truth. Time itself bows to my will. The winds, the seasons, the hearts of kings, all of it answers to my command. And now, having reached the fullness of time, I say to you, everything is aligned. The doors will swing because I have unlocked them. The favor will flow because I've commanded it. The people will appear because I have summoned them. The delay was not your defeat. It was your preparation for permanent elevation. And now, with heaven and earth bearing witness, I declare to you, the pause has ended, and the unfolding begins. Nothing has ever been truly closed to me. While you stood in front of gates that wouldn't budge, knocking, hoping, even pleading, I was holding the master key behind the scenes. You felt resistance, and assumed it was rejection. You assumed your preparation had no reward, that the waiting had no purpose. But what you couldn't see was that I was standing just beyond those barriers, working with precision to remove anything that could harm you once they swung open. I didn't allow you to walk through prematurely because I wanted to spare you from entering empty rooms, unguarded territories, or conversations not meant for you. Now, what was once sealed is yielding. Those opportunities, those divine appointments, those seemingly unreachable spaces are now yielding to the sound of my voice. I've declared it, and heaven has responded. Go forward. You do not need to knock again. You do not need to strive or force your way in. The access has already been granted because the authority rests with me alone. I govern the realms of men. And right now, I've released a decree on your behalf that is causing systems to shift, minds to change, and circumstances to reconfigure in your favor. These are not random coincidences. These are not lucky breaks. This is the outcome of divine order finally being set in motion. You've outgrown the previous season. You no longer fit the mold of limitation. And because of that, the places that once resisted your presence will now make room for your calling. You were never meant to stay behind the threshold. It was only a place of refining, not a final dwelling. I am not just opening one opportunity. I am opening a series of doors, each leading deeper into the assignment I've tailored for your life. With each step you take, you'll find ease replacing effort, direction silencing confusion, and clarity driving away fear. Do not question whether you're qualified. The doors didn't open because of your perfection. They opened because of your positioning in me. My favor, not your resume, has made the way. My hand, not your striving, has cleared the path. And now, I command you not to hesitate. Do not linger in the doorway wondering if this is truly for you. I assure you it is. The time of hesitation is over. The time of divine movement is now. Step forward with boldness, walk through with reverence, and know this: the doors that once rejected you will now welcome you, not because you changed, but because the timing is finally mine. You've pressed through heavy terrain, climbed through emotional valleys, and navigated spiritual fogs with nothing but faith in your hands and my voice in your heart. You've poured strength into every step, questioned whether your progress even counted, and at times felt like your movement was merely survival. But hear me now. You no longer need to exert yourself trying to force what I've already finished. The striving has ceased. The burdens you carried from effort and expectation have been lifted. You are entering a shift not built on force, but on flow. The atmosphere has changed, and I have swept the way clear before you. What once felt like you were pushing a boulder uphill will now feel like walking on air, because it is no longer your human effort making things move. It is the current of my spirit. I've sent a divine wind, invisible yet unstoppable, to undergird your journey. This wind is not chaotic or unpredictable. It is strategic, holy, and deeply intentional. It knows exactly where you must go, and it is carrying you into fulfillment with a grace you have never tasted before. This is not just assistance. This is empowerment. Where once you struggled to make things happen, now things will begin to respond to your presence, because I am in it. The wind of my spirit carries no noise of panic, no trace of confusion. It brings calm, clarity, and the unmistakable signature of my peace. You won't need to strive to be seen, heard, or recognized. This movement is not powered by performance, but by presence. Mine. Let go of the tension in your shoulders. Release the pressure from your heart. Unclench your hands. You are no longer required to engineer outcomes. You are being transported by my divine current into the exact places I've destined for you to be. You'll look back soon and realize how far you traveled without exhausting yourself. Your pace is changing because the source of your motion is no longer your own doing. It's divine momentum. Don't resist this wind by trying to control direction or destination. Trust it. Let it carry you without fear. It's gentle where it needs to be, yet powerful when the terrain demands it. You've reached the threshold where miracles no longer require your push. They only require your surrender. So relax your heart, lift your spirit, and lean in. The wind of my spirit is here, and it knows exactly where to take you next. Through all the quiet battles you faced, the internal storms, the discouraging voices, the setbacks that whispered it would never work, you held on. Even when it felt like darkness hovered and progress stalled, you didn't walk away. There were moments when you questioned everything, when fatigue pulled at your hope, and confusion clouded your ability to see what I was doing. But still, you didn't let go. Even when it felt like you were walking alone, even when the journey grew cold and heavy, you chose to remain. And that choice, simple but sacred, shook the plans of your adversary. He threw discouragement at you like darts. He introduced delays and stirred up disappointments to get you to abandon the path. He whispered lies that you were forgotten, that you were unworthy, that the promise had passed you by. But you refused to bow. You pushed through seasons of silence, endured the weight of not knowing, and kept walking when quitting would have been easier. You were being watched by heaven all along, not for your perfection, but for your perseverance. That determination, that stubborn loyalty to what I placed inside of you, it became your testimony. You passed the test when no one was watching. The unseen victories have now made way for visible fulfillment. This next season you're walking into is not random favor. It is a reward birthed from resilient faith. You have been proven. You are not the same person who started this journey. You have been refined in private, strengthened by resistance, and shaped by trials. The refining wasn't to destroy you, but to equip you for something far greater than what you once thought possible. What comes next requires spiritual maturity, emotional stability, and unwavering vision. And you now carry all three. The opposition you faced was confirmation of what was on the other side. The greater the battle, the deeper the purpose. And now, the very areas the enemy tried to break are being rebuilt stronger than ever before. Not only did you outlast the storm, you've come through it carrying wisdom, anointing, and authority. You have graduated from endurance into inheritance. What's about to unfold is not simply a restoration of what you lost, but an overflow beyond what you imagined. And here's what's powerful. Not only did your faith survive the fire, but it now holds the strength to ignite others. What the enemy meant to silence is now the sound that will stir nations. You didn't just survive. You overcame. You didn't just endure. You qualified. And now, I say to you, step forward with boldness, because everything that's ahead has your name written on it. There were moments when no one saw the weight you carried or the prayers you poured out in silence. You labored in unseen fields, sowing kindness when it wasn't returned, giving when your own hands were empty, encouraging others while your own heart felt weak. You planted words of truth in barren places, watered dreams with hope that seemed far from sight, and laid down pieces of yourself in obedience, not knowing when or how the return would come. Often, you wondered if it made a difference, if the quiet yes, the unnoticed faithfulness, the consistent choosing of good over easy, was really producing anything at all. But I was watching. I saw every moment when you chose to believe in the unseen rather than surrender to disappointment. I counted every tear that fell like rain onto the soil of your calling. And now, that ground, once hard, once dry, is breaking open. The soil has responded. The season has shifted. The atmosphere around you has caught the signal from heaven, and it's erupting with life. The harvest you're about to walk into is not only abundant, it is deeply personal. Each result, each breakthrough, each manifestation is tied directly to what you gave in secret. Nothing was wasted. Nothing went unnoticed. You were not laboring in vain. The seeds you sowed were not ordinary. They were drenched in surrender, infused with trust, and buried with holy intention. And now, they are responding to my voice, emerging in fullness, reaching toward the light of my glory. This harvest will not only restore what you've lost, it will exceed what you dared to hope. It will speak louder than your former pain, louder than every no you encountered, louder than the fear that almost stopped you. And this is not a one-time event. It is a shift into sustained fruitfulness. You will find that what once took immense effort will now begin to flow freely. The results will overtake you. Doors will open without resistance. Favor will multiply where there was once struggle. This new season is not just a reward. It's a reflection of how I honor hidden obedience. And just as nature never struggles to bloom in spring, you will not struggle to grow in what I've now ordained. This time, the increase will find you. This time, the fruit will remain. So lift up your eyes, child. Look around you. What you thought was buried forever is now bursting through. It's not just growth. It's fulfillment. It's not just blessing. It's evidence that I was with you in every quiet, faithful step. The tears you sowed in the dark are now the rivers watering your breakthrough. The season has changed, and so have you. You spent so much energy analyzing moments that slipped away, conversations that ended too soon, and paths you thought would carry you to fulfillment but instead turned into long detours. You've replayed decisions, questioned outcomes, and tried to understand why doors remained closed when your heart was wide open. But child, I am here now to draw a line, not to condemn you for remembering, but to call you into release. You've carried the weight of disappointment long enough. The fragments of missed opportunities, broken timelines, and lingering regrets were never meant to trail behind you like chains. That chapter is closed, not by human determination, but by divine authority. What once felt like failure was simply preparation in disguise. The time you thought you lost was being repurposed in ways you couldn't comprehend. I never held you back to punish you. I was preserving you for a future that required deeper trust and clearer vision. You looked at what didn't happen and assumed you were disqualified, overlooked, were simply not enough. But in truth, I was shielding you from premature exposure, aligning pieces that needed more time to come into place. Now, as I move you forward, I need you to shift your gaze. No more lingering at the gates of yesterday. No more dwelling on who left, what fell apart, or what could have been. I am doing something so new, so beyond your expectations, that your history no longer has the authority to measure your future. What I'm unfolding cannot be compared to what came before. The rhythm of regret is being silenced by the sound of destiny calling your name. You don't have to fix the past to walk in the promise. You don't have to revisit wounds to qualify for healing. You are not marked by what you missed. You are defined by who I've declared you to be. And I say this with unwavering certainty. What is ahead of you is untouched by the failures behind you. I do not recycle old pain to build new purpose. I create from nothing if I must. My nature is redemption, and in me, progress doesn't start with perfection. It begins with surrender. Let go of the measuring stick. Let go of comparison. Let go of the old stories that try to narrate your worth. I am writing a new volume, and the ink has already touched the page. So walk forward, not looking over your shoulder, but with your head held high, because this time, the story unfolds under my hand, not your hindsight. What felt like delay was actually your construction zone. I know the moments you sat in stillness, wondering when the next shift would come. I watched as you occupied the in-between, neither where you once were, nor where you hoped to be, suspended in time, surrounded by questions. You didn't realize it then, but every second inside that place was sacred. I wasn't stalling you. I was building you. You were seated in the waiting room of divine transformation, and I was refining more than your dreams. I was anchoring your identity. While others seemed to move ahead, I was solidifying the foundations within you so that when you rose, it wouldn't be fleeting. I was preparing you for altitude, not just movement, because height without depth leads to collapse. You see, in this space of what seemed like divine silence, I was actually speaking in deeper languages, through endurance, through humility, through stillness. I was giving you spiritual muscles that only grow through holding on when nothing changes. And now, child, I say this with certainty, you will not leave this place the same way you entered. I am transforming what felt like a holding pattern into the beginning of your ascent. The ground beneath you is shifting. What once felt like confinement is becoming the very runway where my power will propel you forward. The waiting room has served its purpose, not as punishment, but as a preparation chamber. And now it becomes the platform. Where you once sat with uncertainty, you will now stand with boldness. You will not crawl into this next season. You will rise. And you won't just rise. You will rise higher than you imagined. This elevation is not built by the world's promotions, but by my hand alone. It cannot be blocked by opposition or stopped by fear. I am the one lifting you, and what I raise, no one can lower. Get ready for rapid movement that flows from my spirit, not your striving. It will feel unfamiliar at first, the pace, the reach, the influence, but it is not unfamiliar to me. I've known this moment would come. I've orchestrated the unveiling. So shake off the dust of delay. Wipe the fog from your perspective. This was never a prison. It was a portal. What you thought was a season of being stuck is about to become the very moment your purpose takes flight. The waiting room is no more. The countdown has finished. It's time to lift off. Prepare to rise. For so long, it seemed like progress was crawling, like every step forward required more strength than you had to give. You measured moments by the distance you still had to travel, not realizing I was measuring depth, not speed. But now the equation has changed. This is no longer about slow, unseen building. You've entered the moment where divine alignment replaces human calculation. All the scattered pieces that once felt disjointed, the relationships, the lessons, the closed doors, the internal battles, have now found their place in the greater design. You may not fully grasp how it all fits together yet, but I assure you, it does. My timing never misses, and I never bring together threads without weaving something glorious. What felt like pause was not wasted time. It was a precise preparation that would now release rapid movement. This is what acceleration looks like in my kingdom. Not random increase, but strategic motion powered by my hand. Where it once took years to build a foundation, you will now witness days producing results. What previously required heavy lifting will now come with a lightness, a clarity, and a pace you've never experienced. Do not be surprised when things begin to open faster than you can explain. Do not second-guess the speed of my blessing, as if it somehow invalidates the slow seasons. The wait was never a punishment. It was the soil from which suddenness could grow. And now, the gears of heaven are turning in your favor. There's a supernatural rhythm under your feet. Conversations that were once stalled will now flow. Opportunities that seemed distant will draw near. People who were once unreachable will suddenly respond. Provision will appear in ways you never expected, because I am breathing on everything. I'm not just aligning your path. I'm synchronizing the timing of everything around you to match the cadence of my will. You'll find yourself in places you didn't plan, having impact you didn't anticipate, with peace you never thought possible. This isn't chaos. This is divine movement. And even as the pace picks up, your soul will remain anchored. You won't feel overwhelmed. You'll feel empowered. You won't scramble. You'll soar. Because I'm not calling you to chase after what's coming. I'm causing what's meant for you to arrive right on time. Acceleration in my presence does not drain. It refreshes. It doesn't confuse, it clarifies. So release your grip on timelines. Abandon the checklist of how you thought it would unfold. I surpassed your outline. I've shattered your limits. And now, with everything falling into its rightful position, I am propelling you forward in a divine surge that can only be explained by grace. Buckle your heart, not out of fear, but in reverence, because where I'm taking you, the pace will no longer reflect the struggle, but the glory of obedience finally bearing fruit. You've reached a point where what used to carry you can no longer sustain what's coming. The habits that helped you survive cannot hold the weight of where I'm leading you now. This isn't a call to exert more effort or push through with force. No. This is something deeper, something eternal. I am infusing you with a kind of endurance that doesn't come from the flesh. You're not being asked to rely on human motivation or temporary zeal. I'm pouring into you divine energy that won't fade when circumstances shift. You've been faithful in past seasons, using every ounce of your strength to press on. But now you must learn to draw from a well that never runs dry. His strength isn't loud. It doesn't show off. It's not rooted in appearances or applause. It's quiet and unshakable, birthed from my presence alone. With this strength comes clarity, not just about what to do, but how to do it. The strategy I'm releasing over you isn't borrowed from others or recycled from the past. It's tailor-made, built specifically for your purpose, and customized for the landscape ahead. You won't have to guess or imitate. I will give you insight others can't see. I will show you patterns hidden in plain sight, instructions that bypass human logic but unlock heavenly favor. And this won't just be about efficiency, it will be about effectiveness. You'll stop wasting time on what looks good, but bears no fruit. You'll shift from chasing outcomes to building legacy. I am preparing your spirit to run without burning out, to stand firm without growing cold, to rise without falling from exhaustion. There will be days when others tire, but you will keep moving, not because you're stronger in the natural, but because you've learned how to access what I give freely to those who seek me in secret. And as this supernatural stamina begins to rise within you, don't be alarmed when you begin letting go of things that once seemed essential. You'll outgrow certain rhythms, certain mindsets, even certain circle, not out of pride, but out of necessity. What's ahead doesn't require more of the same. It demands deeper connection, sharper focus, and unwavering resilience. I'm giving you the internal foundation to steward external expansion. I'm not just sending you into bigger rooms. I'm giving you the grace to remain rooted when those rooms test your character. So don't resist the stretching. Don't fear the unfamiliar pace or the evolving plan. I am training you like a runner before a great race, preparing every spiritual muscle, refining your instincts, sharpening your discernment. You're not stepping into this next phase unprepared. You're entering fully equipped, fully covered, and fully aligned with what I designed before time began. The strength is in you now. The strategy is already being whispered. All that's required is your yes, and your willingness to lean on me every step of the way. You've walked through many seasons where the absence of support made the road feel longer. You've poured into others while wondering if anyone would ever truly understand the call on your life. You tried to explain what I placed inside of you, but many couldn't grasp the depth of it. Some drifted away. Others misunderstood your purpose. But I want you to hear me clearly now. Isolation was never your destination. It was a temporary hallway where I preserved you from relationships that would have hindered your progress. I never meant for you to carry this assignment alone. What you are stepping into requires partnership, not just any partnership, but the kind that is knit together by my spirit, not convenience. I am orchestrating introductions that don't come through effort or striving, but by my design. You will soon begin to see individuals showing up in your life who speak the same language of faith, who see beyond appearances, and who carry keys for doors you didn't even know existed. These people will not need convincing. They won't need you to over-explain yourself. They will recognize the anointing you carry because I've been preparing them in parallel to your journey. While I was developing you in one place, I was developing them in another. And now I am bringing convergence. Connections that once felt forced will now be replaced with ease. Conversations will flow without pressure. Ideas will align. Hearts will witness to each other. These are not casual acquaintances. They are covenant alignments. You won't need to worry about competition because they won't come to compare. They will come to complete. They are sent not to take from you but to build with you. And this is how you will know they are from me. They will honor your process, respect your vision, and sharpen your purpose. You'll feel a deep sense of peace when you meet them, not because everything is perfect, but because my spirit will testify within you. These relationships will not only lift your hands in moments of weakness, they will also challenge you to grow in places you've settled. Do not fear their arrival. Do not question whether you're worthy of such help. I am answering the prayers you whispered when no one else was listening. I am fulfilling my promise that you would not walk alone. So open your heart without suspicion. Let me rewrite your understanding of companionship. I'm not just adding people to your life. I'm establishing a team around your purpose. I am weaving lives together with the thread of eternal assignment. And as you walk forward, you'll notice something beautiful. The path will feel lighter, the mission will feel clearer, and your joy will begin to multiply. Not because everything is suddenly easy, but because I've surrounded you with those who are carrying the same fire. You are not walking alone anymore. I'm sending those who were born for this moment with you. Watch for them. They are already on the way. All this time, you have nurtured something deep within your soul, something sacred, unseen, and precious. While others were busy presenting their accomplishments, you chose the hidden place. You chose stillness over noise, depth over display, process over platform. You weren't building for applause, you were surrendering for my glory. And I saw it. I witnessed your quiet obedience, your willingness to follow me when no one else was watching, your choice to value the process more than public recognition. You didn't rush to reveal what I was still shaping. You didn't promote what hadn't yet matured. And now, because you've honored the hidden season, I am calling what's been inside you into the light. This is not about performance. This is not about proving yourself. This is about manifestation, the moment where what I have embedded into your spirit begins to take form in front of others. They will not just see you, they will see me in you. They will not only hear your words, they will feel my truth resounding through them. You will no longer have to convince people that I've called you. The evidence will be undeniable. The fruit of your faithfulness will speak louder than any introduction. You won't need to strive to be seen. I will position you where I want you. You won't have to compete for attention. I will shine through you in ways that cause the room to shift. This unveiling is not the result of marketing or strategy. It is the fulfillment of something eternal. My glory has rested within you, and now it's time for it to radiate outward. And understand this. I am not exposing you to the world without first cloaking you in my presence. You will remain hidden in me even as I reveal through you. This visibility will not compromise your intimacy. It will amplify it. Your light will not blind you. It will bless others. And as you step into this unveiling, you'll feel me closer than ever. My spirit will guide every word you speak, every room you enter, every opportunity you touch. You'll notice people drawn to you, not because of charm or charisma, but because their spirits are responding to the fragrance of my presence. This is not your moment to show off. This is my moment to show up through you. You are simply the vessel. The power, the wisdom, the breakthrough. That's all me. You will be surprised at how natural it feels, not because you rehearsed, but because you remained available. The gift I placed within you is now blooming, and just like a flower doesn't force its petals open, it simply responds to light. You are responding to the light of my timing. So step forward. Don't shrink. Don't apologize for being chosen. Don't minimize what I've entrusted to you. This is not pride. This is obedience. And I will be glorified, not by your striving but by your surrender. What once lived in silence is now being declared. The treasure I hid within you is about to be seen, not for your glory, but for mine. Let the unveiling begin. So many times, you looked at your hands and wondered if they were strong enough. You listened to the whispers of uncertainty, questioning whether you had what it would take to carry something this significant. You measured your readiness against visible outcomes, comparing yourself to others, thinking you were somehow behind. But what you saw as lack, I saw as surrender, and that surrender was never wasted. Every quiet moment when you kept trusting me, even when you didn't feel capable, I was doing something holy inside of you. I wasn't waiting on you to become perfect. I was forming strength in the hidden places. You thought nothing was happening, but I was layering wisdom, resilience, and discernment beneath the surface. While you were worried about being prepared enough, I was shaping a heart that would lean on me more than on knowledge, more than on skill, more than on credentials. I never needed your confidence to begin. I just needed your willingness. That willingness invited me to step into the spaces you thought were empty and fill them with supernatural equipping. You didn't see the preparation because it didn't happen like the world expected. It didn't come in the form of applause, titled, or fast results. It came through the refining power of stillness. It came through the days you showed up when nothing made sense. It came through obedience in the midst of invisibility. And now, I want you to know this with certainty. The hesitation you've carried is no longer necessary. You are not entering this season as someone who has to prove themselves. You are stepping in as someone I've personally established. What you thought disqualified you has only qualified you more. Your humility has drawn my presence. Your brokenness has made space for my power. Your questions never pushed me away. They pulled me closer. And while others were racing ahead, trying to be seen, you let me develop the unseen. That is why you are ready. Not because you checked every box, but because you allowed me to do a deeper work. You've been fashioned by grace, trained in trust, and forged in the fire of patient faith. You are not walking into what's next empty-handed. You are carrying a well of oil that many will draw from. So silence the voice that says, "You're not enough." Dismiss the fear that whispers, "You're not ready." I say you are. And my word overrides every doubt. When I prepare someone, I leave no part untouched. You will find that the very things you thought were weaknesses have become wells of wisdom. The very places you thought would break you have built the strength you now stand on. And when you step into this next level, you'll discover you were more prepared than you ever imagined, because I did the preparing. I've walked every inch of this path before you. I've paved it with purpose. And now, I'm walking with you into the fullness of everything I've been getting you ready for. You didn't miss it. You didn't fall behind. You've been aligned by my hand all along. Now go, not in fear, but in faith, because what I've placed within you is ready to be poured out. You've walked through seasons where you felt exposed, vulnerable to criticism, misunderstanding, and even betrayal. There were moments when it seemed like those who opposed you had the louder voice, the upper hand, the advantage. You kept your head down, not out of shame, but to stay focused on the path I laid before you. And in doing so, you invited my covering. You didn't retaliate when falsely accused. You didn't compromise your character when tempted to prove yourself. You stayed faithful, even when others spoke against what they didn't understand. Now, hear me clearly. I have seen it all, and I have declared that the time of walking unrecognized beneath heavy pressure has come to an end. I am clothing you now in my favor, not as a reward for perfection, but as a declaration of my delight in your faithfulness. This favor is not temporary, and it is not subtle. It will be visible. It will be undeniable. And yes, it will silence voices that once mocked you, not because you'll argue, but because my presence will answer for you. The very ones who dismissed you will witness the way I lift you. The same spaces that rejected you will now prepare a place for you, and they won't be able to ignore it, because the kind of favor I'm pouring over your life cannot be explained by talent or timing or human connection. It will be obvious that it came from above. But child, I want you to remember this. Favor is not about status. It's about purpose. I'm surrounding you with my grace not to elevate ego, but to amplify my presence through you. This favor will open doors that were shut for generations. It will place you in conversations you didn't initiate, at tables you didn't lobby to sit at, and in rooms where your name was spoken before you even arrived. But this isn't just for your benefit. This is about impact. This is about the ripple effect of obedience, bearing fruit beyond your reach. You will find yourself being honored, not for the sake of recognition, but because others will need what I've deposited in you. And in those moments, remember the secret. It's not you they are drawn to. It's me shining through you. My favor is your shield now, not to protect pride, but to guard purity. It will go before you, making crooked places straight. It will rest behind you, redeeming what you thought was lost. It will sit upon you like a mantle, wrapping you in confidence that doesn't come from applause, but from assurance. You won't have to chase what's meant for you. My favor will attract it. You won't have to prove your worth. My presence will validate it. And yes, even those who once underestimated you will begin to see the truth. But don't let their awe distract you. Keep your gaze fixed. Stay grounded. This is not a time to boast. This is a time to bless. Pour out what I pour in. Give generously what you freely received. Walk humbly, but boldly, knowing that the one who called you has also gone before you. My favor surrounds you now, not as a decoration, but as a divine declaration. I am with you. I am for you. And I will finish what I started through you, no matter who's watching. I saw you when no one else did, when the struggle beneath the surface felt heavier than the world above could ever understand. You smiled in public while wrestling in private. You carried burdens behind closed doors that would have crushed others, yet you pressed on. There were nights your tears watered the very prayers you could barely speak, and mornings you rose with weary strength just to do what obedience required. You weren't looking for attention. You didn't shout for help. You chose to fight in the shadows, not because you were hiding, but because you trusted me to be your defender. And now, child, I am bringing honor to the places where you once bled in silence. The weight you carried behind the scenes has produced something sacred. That inner war was not in vain. It released something in the unseen realm that is now breaking open around you. What I built in your hidden struggle is about to manifest in ways that can no longer be ignored. I am turning your secret warfare into undeniable victory. Those who couldn't see the fight will soon see the fruit. Not as a spectacle, but as a witness. Not to elevate your story, but to reveal my glory through it. You never needed a platform to prove your strength. I used the pressure to draw out my power in you. And now the reward will not be applause, but impact. Doors will open, not because of your effort, but because of what you endured without recognition. Your breakthrough will not just bless you, it will unlock something in others. Those watching your journey will feel a stirring in their own hearts. They will wonder how you survived, how you thrived, how you still walk in peace. And they will realize it wasn't your ability, it was my hand. You chose faithfulness when no one affirmed it. You chose truth when lies surrounded you. You chose to stay close to me when comfort begged you to quit. That kind of loyalty never goes unnoticed in heaven. I don't reward performance. I respond to perseverance. And now, the shift is coming. What once felt like isolation will become elevation. What was fought for behind closed doors will now be fulfilled in open places. You won't have to explain it. I will confirm it. You won't have to justify your place. I will establish it. You won't have to recount your wounds. I will restore what was broken and give you beauty for ashes. So don't be surprised when the tide turns suddenly. Don't be alarmed when those who overlook you begin to see what they once missed. This is not a moment of revenge. It's a moment of release. What was birthed in agony is being crowned with authority. I am making it known, not for your name, but for mine. The pain you carried quietly is producing visible transformation. What no one saw in your suffering, they will now see in your rising. And it will be undeniable. While you were wondering what's next, I was already there preparing it. Long before your feet even approached the threshold of this season, I was walking ahead, lining, securing, arranging every detail with precision. You've worried about what will be required, what resources will be needed, what strength it might take. But I need you to understand something now. This journey will not be sustained by striving. It will be fueled by trust. You will not arrive at each new place lacking. You will arrive at each new place finding that I was there first. Every piece of provision, every divine instruction, every moment of clarity, it's already waiting at the exact moment you'll need it. I've gone before you like a shepherd leading with care, not rushing you, not dragging you, but guiding you into prepared territory. You won't have to force things to work. The right people are already positioned. The right conversations are already scheduled in heaven's timeline. The resources are not coming from your striving, they are flowing from my hand. This path I've drawn out for you doesn't require guesswork. Each step you take in faith will uncover what I've hidden for you, not from you. The solutions you feared you would have to create on your own will instead appear like wells in the wilderness. You'll look around and see doors that no man opened, favor that no effort earned, and peace that surpasses every logical explanation. Don't carry the burden of how into this new chapter. That's not your job. Your role is to walk with me, to move when I say move, to pause when I say wait, and to keep your ears tuned to my whisper. I am not just preparing places. I am preparing you to step into them with confidence, not hesitation. There will be moments where you think, this feels too easy. But that's not because the work is small. It's because my grace is great. You've spent years laboring in hard soil, learning the rhythm of obedience in difficulty. Now I am shifting you into a flow where obedience will bring rest instead of weariness. It doesn't mean there won't be challenges. It means there will always be provision to meet them. Whether it's wisdom, help, finances, or strength, it will meet you right where you stand. This is not about luck or timing. This is about divine architecture, every layer laid by my hand, every moment measured with eternal purpose. You will begin to notice the perfect timing of things, not because you're planning better, but because I've been planning all along. The divine connections won't be late. The clarity won't arrive after the opportunity has passed. It will all come in sync with the beat of heaven. And when it does, I don't want you to hesitate. I don't want you to question whether you deserve it. I don't want you to shrink in false humility. I want you to step forward, knowing the path is not just available, it's been ordained. The very air around your future has already been saturated with my presence. You're not just stepping into something new. You're stepping into something I finished before time began. Trust this. Your arrival in every next place is not accidental. It's right on schedule, because I've gone before you, and everything is already in place. I see the hesitation in your heart, that quiet discomfort when things begin to move in your favor, that cautious restraint when the doors open wider than expected. Somewhere along the journey, you learned to be more comfortable with lack than with overflow. You trained yourself to expect little so disappointment wouldn't sting so deeply. But now I am calling you to unlearn that fear. Success in my kingdom doesn't corrupt the surrendered heart. It magnifies my faithfulness. You've mistaken increase for arrogance because the world has abused platforms. But what I give is never given to puff up. It's given to pour out. I am the one who promotes. I am the one who raises. And when I lift someone, I do it not to inflate pride, but to position purpose where it can bear fruit. You've been entrusted with influence not for image, but for impact. What you're about to walk into isn't a stage for performance. It's a place of divine assignment. And I want you to know this: it is okay to walk boldly when I lead the way. It is holy to embrace the fulfillment of what I promised. It is righteous to celebrate the work of my hands without shame. Your humility isn't proven by how much you shrink. It's revealed in how you carry what I give. Humility is knowing that everything good flows from me, and allowing that goodness to serve others freely. When you succeed in what I've ordained, it testifies to my nature, not your greatness, but my consistency. I don't want you afraid of visibility. I don't want you retreating when blessings pour out. You don't have to downplay what I've done in your life to be accepted by those still in process. I want you to wear my promises like garments of praise, not as decorations, but as declarations of covenant. When you walk in the fullness of what I've planned, others will see what is possible through surrender. You will not become arrogant, because your heart is anchored in me. And if you stay close, you will always hear my voice above the noise of praise or pressure. That's how you remain grounded, by listening more to my whispers than to applause. I'm not raising you up so you can distance yourself from others. I'm lifting you so you can lift them too. You'll find that the higher I take you, the more your compassion will grow. You'll carry my heart into places where my name hath been misrepresented. You'll show people what success looks like when it's held by hands that still tremble before me in awe. So don't retreat. Don't sabotage what I'm releasing because you fear what others will say. They didn't see the tears. I didn't feel the cost. But I did. And now, I'm rewarding what was done in secret with fruit that will be seen. Walk tall, child. Not with ego, but with honor. I've chosen you not just to receive success, but to reflect my nature through it. And I promise, as long as you remain in me, you will never be consumed by what I give. You will be equipped to carry it well. What I am doing in your life now is not a small adjustment. It's not a minor change or a temporary shift. It's an expansion, one that has been unfolding in my design long before you ever sensed it coming. The walls around you are being stretched. The borders of your influence are being pushed outward, not by ambition, but by assignment. I am enlarging the space you occupy, not to burden you, but to bless through you. This isn't about accumulation or recognition. This is about purpose flowing beyond form or limits. You've been faithful with little, and now I'm placing more into your hands, not so you can carry more weight alone, but so that you can carry my glory into places that have never felt it before. You are stepping into territory that was once unfamiliar, but I have already surveyed the ground. The expansion will require more of you, yes, more trust, more stewardship, more listening, but I will equip you for all of it. Don't let the increased responsibility intimidate you. I'm not sending you into a vast space to figure it out alone. I'm walking with you, and every step is being lit by my presence. You'll see that the ground opens before you as you move. This growth isn't happening because of chance. It's happening because you've been chosen to multiply what I've given you. I am placing you in new arenas, with new assignments, and giving you access to people whose hearts are ready to be stirred. The reach I'm giving you isn't random, it's strategic. I'm moving you into circles where your voice, your perspective, and your story will unlock something in others. Your expansion is an invitation to partner with me in something far beyond your comfort zone. And that's why I need you to stay close, because proximity to me will keep the expansion healthy. Your nearness to my heart will determine how you navigate the new. If you listen closely, I'll show you where to plant, where to rest, where to build, and where to wait. This isn't about moving faster, it's about moving further with greater intention. I will increase your capacity so that this expansion doesn't drain you. It refines you. I will send people to help carry the weight. I will give you wisdom to manage time, resources, and influence with clarity. The more space I give, the more grace I'll pour. You don't need to shrink in fear of what's ahead. You're not stepping into this expansion unprepared. You're stepping in because I've made you ready. There's no need to worry about maintaining what I give, what I sustain. I also protect. And if I'm the one enlarging your field, I will also be the one tending the harvest that comes from it. This expansion isn't just about you. It's about every soul your obedience will touch. Every stretch in this season is tied to someone else's breakthrough. So embrace the increase, child. Walk into the wide open spaces. I am not stretching you to break you. I'm stretching you to pour more through you than you ever thought possible. This is multiplication, not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, for my glory. You used to look at certain callings and promises and feel overwhelmed, not because you didn't believe I could do it, but because it seemed impossible that I would do it through you. You saw the magnitude of what I showed you, and you quietly wondered how someone with your background, your limitations, your quiet obedience could ever step into something that large. But child, that sense of impossibility was never meant to disqualify you. It was meant to draw you deeper into reliance on me. Over time, through trials, through slow obedience, through unseen growth, I have been expanding you on the inside. Your spiritual lungs have grown. Your heart has been trained to carry greater compassion. Your eyes now see with deeper wisdom. And all of this has widened your capacity to hold what I'm about to release. You no longer flinch at what once intimidated you. You no longer retreat from opportunities that stretch you. That's not because you've become prideful. It's because you've been prepared. I've developed your inner frame to match the external assignments I'm releasing. You've been enlarged through the process. That's why what used to feel like a mountain now feels like a mission. That's why what once seemed impossible is now within reach. You're not shrinking under the weight. You're rising to meet it because your foundation has deepened. I've increased your ability to carry responsibility without being crushed, to handle influence without being consumed, and to speak with authority without losing your tenderness. What you're stepping into isn't beyond you anymore. It's becoming a natural extension of what I've placed within you. The reason you now feel comfortable in spaces that once seemed too great is because I've been molding your identity all along. This is what maturity looks like in the spirit. Not striving, not performing, but standing strong in what has been refined through fire. You'll notice that ideas flow more freely now. Conversations carry more weight. Assignments fit more comfortably. That's not coincidence, that's capacity. Your soul has expanded through surrender, and now your environment is simply catching up to your internal growth. Do not be surprised when what once felt like a dream now becomes your daily reality. Don't apologize when others marvel at how you seem to carry more with less effort. That's what grace looks like. I don't increase your reach without increasing your strength. I don't open larger spaces without building broader shoulders. And I've done both in you. Now, the new will no longer feel foreign. It will feel familiar. The size of what I've placed before you hasn't changed. You have. So walk into it without hesitation. You've grown into what I designed. What was once too much is now just right. What once required faith to believe is now unfolding through faithfulness lived. You are not out of place here. This is the level I've prepared you for, and it is only the beginning. Each door that did open, each opportunity that slipped through your hands, and every season that ended with an unanswered prayer was not a dismissal. It was divine orchestration. You've often looked back on those moments with confusion, wondering what went wrong, why certain paths didn't unfold the way you hoped. But I want to shift your perspective now. None of those closed chapters were signs of failure. They were intentional pauses, divinely timed protections, and holy redirections. I've been guarding you, not depriving you. You saw denial, but I was building direction. You heard silence, but I was speaking through sovereign delays. If you had received what you asked for when you asked, it would have limited what I truly intended for you. I wasn't withholding to frustrate you. I was waiting for the fullness of time when my yes would not only be good, but perfect. And that moment has arrived. The time for wondering why not is over, because now you will begin to see what I was saving you for. I am turning the former no's into unmistakable favor. I am taking what once felt like rejection and transforming it into redemption. My yes is not just an open door, it's a confirmation of every prayer you thought went unnoticed. But this yes is different. It comes with clarity. It comes with alignment. It comes with peace. You will not have to force your way through this door. It will open as you arrive. You will not have to prove your worth to walk through it. The door knows your name because I carved it specifically for your purpose. There is no competition for what I've prepared for you. It has been reserved, sealed, and set apart until now. Do not look back at those moments that once broke your heart. Let me redeem them by showing you what I was building all along. The delay wasn't denial. It was design. And now, every puzzle piece is fitting together. You'll begin to understand why certain people left, why certain jobs didn't work out, why certain prayers had to wait. It was never random. It was always working for your good. I am restoring the years you thought were wasted. I am returning what was withheld with interest. And as you walk into this next season, I want you to do so with boldness, not timid steps, but confident trust. This yes will not crumble beneath your feet. It has been formed in my timing, tested by your patience, and matured by your obedience. So go ahead. Walk forward. Take possession of what I've spoken. It's not just ready, it's yours. You won't need to ask again. I've already answered. The season of almost is over. The appointed moment has come. And this time, when I say yes, nothing and no one can say otherwise. I know how easy it is to hesitate when the unknown stretches out before you. I see how quickly your mind scans for signs, validation, and guarantees that everything will unfold smoothly. But I need you to lean deeper into something far more reliable than human understanding. I need you to trust the nearness of my presence. You are not navigating this season alone. I am not launching you forward and watching from afar. I'm right beside you, not only guiding your every move, but also anchoring your heart when it trembles. You don't have to pause in fear or wait for perfect conditions. I don't lead with confusion. I don't send my children into chaos. The path I've chosen for you may require faith, but it will never lack peace. That peace, the deep, abiding stillness that surpasses logic, is how you'll know it's me. You won't find it in applause or approval. You won't find it in plans that are flawless on paper. You'll find it in the quiet assurance that settles in your spirit when you walk where I've called you to go. The enemy will try to cloud that clarity with questions. Are you sure you're ready? What if this isn't the right time? What if you fail? But those voices aren't from me. I don't deal in fear. I speak in stillness. I reveal myself in peace. And I affirm your steps through alignment that can't be manufactured by man. I've placed markers along your journey, moments of confirmation, encounters that will echo with my fingerprint, and doors that open without you needing to knock. Watch for them. Feel for my peace in every decision. If it lifts, pause and ask me. If it deepens, follow it. You don't need every detail. You need direction. And I will give it. The temptation to retreat may come, especially when progress feels bigger than your capacity. But don't let old fears write the script for this new chapter. You are no longer who you were in the seasons where you doubted yourself. You've grown in wisdom. You've learned to discern my leading. And more importantly, you've learned that obedience doesn't always come with a map. Sometimes it just comes with a whisper and the assurance that I'll meet you when you move. To move. Even if the first step feels small. Even if it feels like the ground isn't fully visible yet. If I'm in it, the ground will hold. If I'm with you, the outcome will align. And I am with you. That is your assurance. not your qualifications, not a flawless track record, not even the opinion of others. My presence is your compass, and peace is your signal. You will not miss the path as long as your eyes stay fixed on me. This isn't the time to retreat into old patterns of delay and doubt. This is the time to walk forward with a steady pace, listening for my voice and moving with the rhythm of heaven. Every time you trust me over your fears, you are building a legacy of faith. So don't shrink, child. Don't second-guess what I've already confirmed in your spirit. Walk forward with me, and I will surround your path with peace so unmistakable, even your inner doubts will be silenced. You've spent long stretches walking through fog, not because you were lost, but because I was teaching you how to follow without seeing. In that space, your faith was refined, not by answers but by questions that didn't lead to immediate solutions. You asked me what, when, how, and why, and in many moments I answered with silence that deepened your trust, not your knowledge. But hear me now, that chapter has served its purpose. The cloud that once surrounded your decisions is lifting. Where you once strained to discern, you will now receive with ease. I am bringing clarity to areas that felt murky. I'm replacing uncertainty with certainty, not born from logic, but from alignment. You will no longer wander in circles, questioning whether the next step is truly mine, because I'm setting your course with unmistakable precision. I will speak to you in ways that settle your spirit immediately. You won't have to sift through noise to find my voice. It will come like a gentle stream, direct and undeniable. I will confirm my instructions in more than one way, through scripture, through wise counsel, through divine timing, and through the unmistakable peace that guards your decisions. What confused you before will now become clear. The closed doors that once left you wondering will now be seen as shields that kept you on course. I'm not just showing you the path, I'm empowering you to walk it with confidence. You will no longer be paralyzed by the fear of making the wrong move. I am going to sharpen your instincts, heighten your awareness of my spirit, and fine-tune your ears to discern my direction with ease. Even in moments where the future holds unknowns, your heart will remain steady because my guidance will be present in the now. Clarity isn't just about knowing what to do, it's about knowing that I am in every detail. And I am. I'm not a god of confusion. I never leave my children stumbling in the dark without a lamp. My word will become a light for every step. You'll begin to notice a pattern of swift answers, decisions unfolding faster, opportunities surfacing with divine timing, confirmations showing up before you even ask for them. That's not coincidence. It's fulfillment. This is the fruit of your waiting, of your quiet obedience, of your willingness to walk without sight. Now, sight is being given, not in the form of complete blueprints, but in the assurance that every direction you receive is coming from the one who holds eternity. You will no longer feel torn between too many options. The distractions that once blurred your vision are being removed. I'm clearing the path not only externally, but internally, calming your thoughts, stilling your emotions, and anchoring your soul. You won't have to beg me to reveal what's next. You'll hear it because you've learned how to listen. The season of wondering, of questioning whether you've missed it, whether you're late, whether you misunderstood, that season has ended. I declare a new one, where my will becomes visible, where your steps are sure, where your spirit walks in sync with mine. So don't delay. When I speak, move. When I show, act. When I confirm, obey. This rhythm of divine direction is your inheritance, and it's here to stay. Walk in it. Every moment you chose to listen when everything around you was noisy, I noticed. Every time you silenced your own opinions to wait on my instruction, I was there. You may not have realized it, but I've been shaping you into someone who doesn't just react, but responds to my spirit. The world taught you to rush, to analyze, to move quickly based on results. But I've been teaching you a different pace, a rhythm of intimacy where stillness leads to strength and listening becomes your greatest weapon. The sensitivity you've cultivated wasn't developed in grand moments, it was formed in the secret ones. In the hours when you paused mid-plan to ask me what I thought. In the mornings when you laid aside your requests just to sit in my presence. That posture has built something precious. A heart that doesn't need signs to follow me, only my voice. And now, because you've allowed me to train your ears to hear what others overlook, I am releasing you into a realm where obedience will produce more than effort ever could. You are no longer striving for results. You are moving with revelation. And revelation carries authority. You won't have to guess your way into progress. You won't have to perform to make things happen. When I speak and you act, things will multiply. You'll find that obedience is the new oil, flowing through every place where surrender was costly. Where others are exhausted trying to manufacture outcomes, you will flourish by simply saying yes at the right moment. The overflow I'm releasing isn't just financial or material, it's spiritual depth, relational restoration, creative inspiration, divine timing, and soul-level fulfillment. You'll begin to notice that fruit follows your footsteps, not because of who you are, but because you've positioned yourself beneath my covering. This obedience isn't about rules, it's about relationship. You follow not from fear of punishment, but from a love that desires nothing more than to stay aligned with me. And that alignment is everything. It keeps you under the shadow of my wings, where protection, provision, and purpose flow together. You've matured from asking for immediate blessings to seeking lasting direction. And that maturity is what qualifies you for this next level of outpouring. No more chasing. No more striving. No more wondering if your steps matter. I am confirming now that they do. You will see in this season that every yes carries a ripple effect. Every act of obedience, even the small ones, will produce results far beyond what you expected. You'll say something, and someone will be healed. You'll take a step and doors will swing open. You'll make a quiet decision in secret, and it will trigger public breakthrough. Why? Because you've learned the sound of my whisper, and you've trained your life to respond to it. That kind of obedience moves heaven. And when heaven moves, nothing can stand in its way. So go forward boldly. Don't overthink. Don't hesitate. When I speak, move. When I pause, wait. You are not reacting to circumstances anymore. You are responding to the King. And your obedience is now the key that unlocks overflow, not just for you, but for those around you. What you carry is about to bless more people than you know. Keep listening. Keep trusting. This flow cannot be stopped because it was born from surrender. You've been asking me to show you the full picture, to unveil the entire path before you move. But that's not how I've chosen to lead you. I am not withholding clarity to confuse you. I'm inviting you into a deeper relationship built on trust, not control. I don't lay out the entire journey at once because what I desire most is your nearness, not just your destination. I don't want you to simply arrive. I want you to walk with me, closely, attentively, faithfully. You've grown used to waiting for confirmations and signs before acting, but now I'm training you to walk forward with confidence in my voice alone. And as you do, you'll begin to understand something sacred, that every forward movement in faith triggers something divine in the unseen. The path doesn't appear before your eyes because it's waiting to respond to your steps. Just as the Red Sea parted only when my people walked toward it, so too will the way open as you move in obedience. I've placed keys inside your hands, but they only unlock doors when used. You won't always feel ready, and the steps may look small, but each one matters. What feels like a simple act of faith in your eyes becomes a catalyst for heaven's orchestration. My timing will meet you in motion. My presence will meet you in progress. You won't have to force things open. Your movement will cause alignment to rise and greet you. This journey is not about rushing toward an outcome. It's about embracing the rhythm of my unfolding. I've gone ahead of you, yes, but I also walk beside you, every footstep watched, every breath recorded, every hesitation understood. When you move, it sends a message to fear that it no longer has power over your decisions. When you step forward despite uncertainty, it breaks the grip of doubt. And in return, I reward your trust with revelation. You'll start to notice how one small act of courage opens up unexpected opportunities. One word spoken in obedience leads to a connection you didn't anticipate. One quiet yes in the secret place shifts entire seasons. That's how I work, not all at once, but moment by moment, revealing just enough to keep your eyes on me instead of the outcome. And in those moments of movement, I will fill your spirit with peace that confirms you are exactly where you need to be. Don't look for perfection. Don't expect to understand everything at once. The journey is progressive for a reason. It builds endurance, sharpens vision, and deepens intimacy. You don't need to fear making a mistake if your heart is surrendered to me. Even your missteps are recoverable when I'm guiding your heart. What matters most now is that you begin, even if you begin slowly. You're not being asked to figure it all out. You're simply being asked to follow. And as you take one step, I will meet you with more insight, more strength, more favor, more direction. This is how you will learn to live, not by sight, but by faith in motion. So don't wait for everything to be obvious before you obey. The first step is enough. That one small act of trust will activate the next, and before long, you'll look back and realize you've traveled far, not because you had all the answers, but because you kept saying yes. One step at a time. That's how faith becomes a story of glory. Amen.